This program is not for children. If you're under the age of 13, get the hell out of here.
From the deepest, darkest recesses of Dangerous Nerds headquarters, Keith Moncrief and Gerry Kissel.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Minefield. That's Keith.
And that's Gerry.
And down below us is our friend Tim Vo in the Brady Bunch box.
What's up, fellas?
It's a story about a man named Brady. So where are you located, Tim?
I am in California, specifically Orange County. Originally from the Bay Area, but I moved down to Orange County back in 2000.
Man, I hope you're staying indoors.
It's actually nice. It was like only 80 something, but we're hitting the hundreds next weekend, and all the fires are north, so we're good for now.
Yeah,
no fires yet.
Keith is in Springfield, and I'm right next to him in Joplin, and it's hot as hell here. It was in the 90s today.
And you guys had humidity too, don't you?
Oh, yeah, we got that nasty-ass Missouri humidity.
Yeah. Nah, see, in California, basically they decided to build cities in the middle of the desert, or near the beach, so we have no humidity. So it's, it's a cliche. It's a dry heat. It's true, though. A dry heat is perfectly...
I grew up in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And I was stationed for a while in the Army in California. And I liked it. I spent some time going around down to Fort Ord, and then up north, my unit was an Army unit attached to an Air Force base up in Sacramento.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You remember Moffett Field?
Yeah. Mountain
View? So I used to live in Sunnyvale, which is, so every year during the air show, we would get on my buddy's roof, and the Blue Angels would literally fly, 50 feet, 100 feet above us. And those giant, what are they, C-17 jet, man, they would fly over regularly when Mafia was, and they would shake our entire neighborhood. These things were huge.
Huge. They are huge. Yeah. I used to go, when I was on my way to work, I would drive by the Air Force base in Vacaville, and I would just park and just watch their C-47 pilots that were training. All they would do is they would come, land, go right back up again, and circle around, come back and land, and just keep doing that over and over again.
And so my condolences that you had to be in Vacaville.
Well, Vacaville is where, I was only in the reserves, so I wasn't full time. So I was able to have a job, and I worked for a medical company, and I traveled all over the Northern California area. There
ain't a damn thing to do in Vacaville. Let me tell you right now.
Oh no, there's not. They got an air base, and the best thing to do in Vacaville is drive to Davis or Sacramento.
Yeah, or grow meth.
Or go further towards the coast and hit Vallejo, which is nice.
Yeah,
and I loved going to Vallejo, going across the Benicia Bridge. I worked all the way down to Tracy, which is the rice.
Modesto, yeah. Tracy, Modesto. Yeah, I grew up in the Bay Area, so I know. I used to go to Sacramento. My cousins lived in Rancho Cordova. You talk about hot.
Pittsburgh?
Sacramento is another level of hot, man.
Yeah,
good Lord.
But what about Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, yep, that's the ghetto of the Bay Area right there, man.
Yeah, it is,
right.
Man.
V-Town too, with E40 and the rest of the boys in Vallejo.
I had a nice scare in Oakland one night. I got sent there. This freaking white Irish kid wearing a lab coat, middle of the freaking night for one of my patients who needed oxygen. So I pull up, and this is like within 24 hours of the Rodney King beating, or when the cops were let off. It was right after that. And so I pull into the street, and this is mostly a Laotian.
Yeah. There's a lot of Laotian and Cambodian gangs in the Modesto area too. Yeah. So
I'm pulling up to this vehicle, but that's not who came up to my door. I'm parked my little white Toyota truck with a white camper on it. Everything about it was white. Everything was so white. And I pull up, and then I hear this tap, 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 tap on my window. And I look over, and there's this very large black man standing outside my window. And I cracked my window a little bit. Yeah. He's like, yeah, man, what are you doing here? I said, the gentleman's name that lived in the house. He needed some oxygen, and I'm here to get him some oxygen. Yeah. And then I hear my passenger door rattle. And I turn and look, and there's a dude trying to open my passenger door, and it was already locked. And I'm like, I'm in some fucking shit here.
Time to get ghost.
Really cool. And
everybody thinks the Bay Area is, expensive. And man, I'm gonna tell you right now, man, in the 80s, San Francisco was straight. It was just straight hustlers and hoods and all of the Bay Area, East Palo Alto. I mean, there were some nice pockets. Like now, everything's expensive.
Right under the Nimitz Highway.
Yeah, Oakland, Richmond, Vallejo, all those, man, in the 80s and early 90s, man, it was straight. It was
that young gentleman told me that they need to send someone not white. And he made it very clear, and I went, that's not a problem. And I turned around, drove all the way past I just forget the Richmond. Drove past that, and I was in Benicia before I stopped. And I called my boss and I said, we need to send somebody else that's not white. And he goes, we don't have anybody that's not white.
You're it, buddy. You're it. Throw on a Raiders jersey, just go back there.
I shrugged and I said, I love this job, but I'm not going to get shot or stabbed for this job.
Those benefits don't cover that shit.
Nope. And yeah, because I got there like right after the Nimitz collapsed. And so that area was really.
So you're talking right after the World Series earthquake, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in a pumpkin patch when it happened. I remember that.
That was crazy stuff. I was still in training. But anyway, let's get to this because we've got something exciting. I'm so glad you came on, Tim, because we're friendly with each other. We all know each other. We have a mutual friend, Mikey Sutton. And you and I talk every once in a while, but you never got to meet Keith. And
yes,
I was really glad you got to meet Keith tonight. And we're actually going to do.
What up, Keith?
Hey, what's up, Tim? What's up? This is where you hear a little bit of the hood in Keith. What's up? But we're going to do a Mikey re-scoop on the scoop that you did. So I'm really intrigued to get your input on this too. So let's do our special intro. It's a badass beat.
That's why I love it.
And today's scoop, Keith, you want to nail it in here?
Yeah, well, this is originally was on Tim's show.
Tim has a show?
Come on. Yes.
I didn't know that. I thought he was just this other nerd that we knew. Lords of the Long Box.
That's right. Kneel before the Lords of the Long Box.
Thank you. And
love having you on, Tim.
I appreciate
it. Basically, what this is about, this is concerning the Blue Marble, which, as an aside, I love this character. It was created by Kevin Grevioux, who you know is the force behind the Underworld movies, and a rather large man in real life. Kind of dude that you could probably lose your girlfriend to real easy.
Yeah. And he's got this voice that just doesn't even sound human. It's so low. And it's funny because I had just shared one of his posts today about Godzilla, and some kid, or I can't remember who he said, some cat told him that, yeah, Godzilla's son is Godzuki. And I'm like, no, it's not. Minya. And he said the same thing. And Godzuki is from the Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Oh, God.
Which were not very good.
Well, there was one movie. He was in one movie where he was blowing smoke rings. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Godzilla Monster Island, I think is what it was called.
Yeah, he's actually technically in 2 films. And the other one's more of a minor part. But, and to be honest with you, a lot of it looked like it was rehashed footage from the previous film.
Yeah.
As well as maybe some unused footage. But let's get back here to the Blue Marvel. Let's get into this. Do you want me to read it, Keith?
I can read it if you want.
No, you go ahead, man.
Well, there's definitely been speculation brewing for the Blue Marvel. As part of the wishful thinking, the character has quite a cult following, as I was trying to state before, due to the skyrocketing back issue prices of his comic debut, which was Adam, Legend of the Blue Marvel, #1 in 2008, if you don't have it. There's also the casting of Carl Lumley, who I enjoy, really good actor, in The Falcon and Winter Soldier, which some feel is for the Blue Marvel and not Isaiah Bradley, the original Black Captain America, who was the father of Patriot from Young Avengers. Again, speculation, nothing based on rumors, on gossip and conversations. Basically lots of rumors surrounding this particular character, and the recent development of the whole Sword project from Disney Plus is where his name seems to be coming up. The Blue Marvel is among the characters being seriously considered for the Sword project on Disney Plus. Whether that will be his MCU debut remains to be seen. So I'm hoping it's true. Seriously, they need this character. Personally, I don't know if they're going to have Carl Lumley play him, because I think Carl Lumley's in his 60s already, if I remember correctly. Although it'd be great, because now you get to have Mantis in the MCU. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and back to what he's saying about the casting for Falcon Winter Soldier, and a lot of times, and I've talked about this with you guys on Twitter and on Facebook, that a lot of times these I don't know what you call them, professional scoopers, right? They sign up to something called Production Weekly, right? And that's why you always see the term I saw the grid notes on it, right? Casting calls. So a lot of times, some are better than others at connecting the dots, putting 2 and 2 together, and they have to have some type of comic book knowledge, or at least fucking Wikipedia, to tell whom is going to be whom. Now, this character doesn't fit in any mold that would fit into the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The cool thing about Adam Brashear, aka the Blue Marvel, is they kind of retconned him to be back in the Marvel, MC, or the Marvel 616 since, like, I think the 60s or 70s. If you remember, there was a run called the Mighty Avengers, was basically an all African-American superhero team that kind of existed. They kind of retconned them, though. There was a new comic, but they said they existed back in the 70s. And Adam Brashear, Blue Marvel, when that miniseries came out, nobody really paid attention to it. 4 or 5 years ago, when people started realizing that, hey, man, Marvel is scooping up as many characters as they can and making properties of them. Let's just buy up all the first appearances. And Blue Marvel was one of those ones where, like, hey, man, this is a low print run. It was just a 5 or 6 issue miniseries. Let's go out and nab it, and wishful thinking on their part, which was, according to Mikey's article. And that's what's driven. I mean, if I look right now, the last 9/8 on this sold in July 26th for $1,325, $1,325 for first print. It was only print. First Adam, Legend of the Blue Marvel. Now, I think he's been around in new comics as well. And you remember there's that Ultimate series that featured Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, and Miss America, right? And basically it was like the all diversity team, right? You had people of color, you had females, you had Miss America, or Chavez America, who's not even from this realm, but now she's part of the 616. So, like what Feige's always been trying to do is he's trying to, check off all the boxes, what Mikey likes to say, for diversity, right? Be it Kamala Khan, young, Muslim American, girl, teenager, boom. That's all the demographics you get for the young viewers. And then you have other characters too, like Blade, that fits demographic like us old cats. Remember the original Blade movies, and we're big fans of that. But Adam Brashear is cool because he's like a modern day Reed Richards, if you could say so. Like, he's not just an all powerful being, which he is. He's very powerful, but he's also a brilliant scientist. And if you look up the author that you were just alluding to, who was also an actor who wrote this book, I believe he went to Howard University and had like a degree in microbiology or something, right? Yeah. Super smart dude. So when he writes it, you got to think, man, maybe there's something to this,
Yeah, I'm just happy that this is happening. this is one more example of, if you're going to go down that road, the diversity road, there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. And Kevin Feige seems to be at least trying to do this the right way. And I got to give him all the credit in the world, because he seriously thinks about this. A lot of other people don't think about it. They don't think things through, but that's the reason why the MCU is the MCU and everybody else is trying to play catch up.
Yeah, and it fits into the narrative of, and I've always told people that if you're into speculation or thinking what the MCU is doing next, and you want to buy comic books that are affected by, and let's be honest, movie and TV announcement right now drives a lot of comic book prices. So if you've been paying attention, MCU is leaving Earth, right? And if they are staying on Earth, it's going to be dark. It's going to be supernatural, or they're going cosmic. They're laying out all the cards to go cosmic. They did it with Guardians of the Galaxy, but they didn't really touch on it full blown. Like, I was a little let down that they made like some of the elders of the universe, not quite elders of the universe, being these cosmic beings, right? They're just kind of one-off, kind of, almost like a Benicio del Toro's character. He was just kind of a joke, the Collector, right? But in the Marvel comics, he's one of the most powerful beings in the universe. He's an elder of the universe.
The Guardians of the Galaxy animated series, their version, which is he's more alien and ancient. But by the way, I just started watching that show. It's really good. People go, "Oh, it's a hit and miss." I said, "No, if you pay attention to it, it's pretty good. It's just good.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be great. Every episode doesn't have to be great. Just be good."
Yeah, and I think also with Disney Plus, it's like the Marvel miniseries of the '80s, right? Where they could take a gamble on something like, let's make a Jack of Heart miniseries, right? Let's make a Machine Man miniseries, 4 issues. Now with Disney Plus, they have that vehicle, and if it's successful, let's throw it through the big screen. But if not, then it has this nice little home niche on Disney Plus where we can do a bunch of little miniseries. And, while we still have our big giant tentpole projects in the MCU, on the big screen, we can still do these little Disney Plus projects.
What you're saying there, Tim. Before we head out, I want to touch on what came out yesterday, which is at least the rumor I saw, was that Disney Marvel are interested in rebooting or bringing back the X-Men animated series.
Yes.
Now, tell me, did you not get? I got goosebumps when I saw that, and I heard the song in my head, na 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 na, and I'm like, oh god, yeah.
Well, I mean, you and I, we probably grew up on reading X-Men, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm 49. I'm pretty sure you guys are just a touch under 49, right? Probably, the mid.
I'm 56 and he's 54.
But in talking to a lot of people, their gateway drug into X-Men comic books was the X-Men animated series, which and then to me, my gateway drug was Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, right? That's just Saturday morning cartoons. And
the original Spider-Man series.
Oh yeah, that one too. Super Friends and all all that good stuff. But I was always a Marvel guy, so when I first saw the X-Men and Doctor Strange on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, I started out Marvel. I started out Marvel because the first comic I read, because we've talked about this, Keith and I, was the Fantastic Four, and my very first issue of Fantastic Four versus the Mole Man, and I was absolutely. So you started small then, basically. FF1 is what you're saying.
Yeah. And then watching totally small, and started watching Spider-Man every morning before school, and that was it. I was a Marvel guy until 1970. Even though I loved the Batman TV series, I didn't read Batman comics. As a kid, that didn't kick in until the 70s, and right when the Dark Knight, the return of really the detective. Was it 74?
That'd be the Neil Adams and the.
Because my very first comic I ever bought with my own money, Tim, was the Swamp Thing Batman crossover.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams, and
my first.
That was
my first exposure to Spider-Man at a very young age was the Electric Company, and that was when I first saw Spider-Man. I'm like, holy shit, what is this? And then we had an uncle that lived with us, and he was going through law school at the time, and he used to buy single issues, and kids nowadays call them floppies, but he used to buy Amazing Spider-Man books, and when he was done with them, he would leave them to me. I was in first grade. I would try to read and look at the pictures as well as I could, And then I had I call him a nerdy neighbor because he had an ant farm. Okay. I'm sorry. If you have an ant farm, you are a nerd, but he had a stack of X-Men comics. And I go, what is this? Why is that character blue? Who are all, because it was the first time I've been reading, Spider-Man, pretty vanilla as far as the characterizations are in comic books. But when I first saw like a Bronze Age X-Men book, I'm like, this is nutty. You got an all blue fur guy, you got an all metal Colossus guy, Wolverine. Who are these guys? And then it wasn't until like 5th grade when I used my own money to buy my first comic book, and I believe it was X-Men 170, where I popped down a whole 75 cents for an entire comic book. But that X-Men animated series, when it came out, I was like, man, this is awesome. You're seeing some crazy stuff here. You're seeing ancillary characters like Bishop and all these other, and Jubilee. Who the hell are these people, right? And now you get a whole generation of kids growing up with them. Now they're probably in their 30s that love them and go back. And I think it would be a home run for Marvel to do an animated series. And I think Hollywood, as well as a lot of business, are learning from the current COVID shutdown on how you need to adapt business to be able, if this happens again, or if it continues to happen, what you can do. Animated movies, you just require a limited group. Hell, you can have people in recording booths that are socially distanced and still create animated movies. All the animators can work from home. Hell, I think James Gunn said, hey, we're in an editing booth for Suicide Squad, and we're doing it all remotely because we already finished all the principal photography. So I think animated series is an easy way to go. And I also read somewhere, I read it was a CBR or one of the big sites. Everybody was reporting on it. Basically, one producer said that the X-Men animated series, if it were to happen, it's up to Disney at this point. We are all game. Even some of the actors, I believe one of the actors who was voiced Beast, who said he's in retirement, said, I would come out of retirement to make the X-Men animated series. And I was like, fuck yes, you should. Imagine the nostalgia just from people who love the animated series, then the new X-Men fans update the animation style. And I think the X-Men animated series left on a cliffhanger.
Away from 20th Century Fox's movies.
Yeah, I think there was, and it didn't finish up a storyline. From what I understand, they want to do like maybe a little 5 animated episode series to finish off the original storyline. But if they do that and they get huge numbers, why not make a new one with new X-Men and continue on?
That's kind of what they did with bringing back Clone Wars. And,
yeah, and what they've been trying to do with Justice League. That's what they have been talking about for over a year, is bringing back Justice League, the animated series.
I think that would be an idea. Well, anyway, I guess we'll wrap it up here. We're hitting that 22-minute mark. We went past the 20. So, Tim, thanks for dropping in with us, man, last minute. I'm glad I'm
back. You got to come back.
I will, man. I have a show on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Just hit me up in between those when I'm up to it. Make sure you subscribe to Lords of the Long Box, guys. We're about 50 away from 5,000. We're going to give away all kinds of stuff. Hell, we may even just throw cash at you. So make sure you subscribe to Lords of the Long Box.
Hey, man, we'll put the link down in the description. If you don't know who Tim Vo and the Long Box is, you're an idiot. And with that, that's Keith over there.
And that's Gerry.
And down below there, that's Tim Vo, the badass Tim Vo. Thanks for dropping in. And all y'all, get out of here. Get off our lawns.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please remember to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Remember, you can find us at Pop Culture Minefield on both Facebook and Instagram. Thank you again.
Y'all come back now, you hear?